Welcome back to videos on factoring trinomials or factoring polynomial expressions. So for this video, we will be looking at how to factor a certain trinomial. In the previous video, what you learned is factoring a perfect square trinomial. But now, this is just a regular trinomial. A trinomial is an algebraic expression with three terms. So here's how we can factor a given trinomial. Let's have the example b squared plus 8b plus 7. So in order for us to factor this given trinomial, what we need to do is to look at the first term and also the last term. We need to do a trial and error of the factors that can be multiplied in order to get the first term and also the last term. Now, the key here is the middle term. It's because if once we get the factor of the first and the last term, we need to ensure that when they multiply, the answer will lead to the middle term. So the factor of a trinomial is two binomials. Okay, so I will put here two parentheses, open and close parentheses, to indicate the two factors. Again, our factor here are two binomials. So let's factor first b squared. What can be the factors of b squared? We can have 1 and b squared, and we can also have b and b. Let's look at 7. I will put here 7. What are the factors of 7? We only have 1 and 7. Okay, so we need to find a pair of the factors of b squared and 7 so as when we multiply them, the answer will give us the middle term. So let's try first for b squared, b and b. And then for 7, you will write 1 and 7. Now, how about the signs in the middle? So as you can see, in the given, you only have plus and plus. So I'll just put here plus and plus. And then I will multiply. I will multiply the two binomials and check if I can get the middle term. So b times b, that is b squared. B times 7, that is 7b plus 7b. 1 times b is b, and 1 times 7 is 7. If you can remember, the process of multiplying two binomials is called the FOIL method. The first, the outer, the inner, and the last. Let's check if the outer and the inner, when once we get the sum or the difference, it will yield 8b. So if I simplify this, I have b squared plus 8b plus 7. And this one is the same as our given. Hence, our answer or the factor of b squared plus 8b plus 7 is b plus 1 times b plus 7. Now for this case of factoring, all you need to do is to try uh, some of the factors in order for you to get the trinomial that is given. Let's try another one. Let's have m squared plus m minus 90. So again, what we need to do is to get the factors of the first term and the factors of the second term and try a partnership between their factors in order for us to get the middle term. So let's try for m squared. Let us try 1 and m squared. But we also have m times n. For 90, this has several factors. We have 1 and 90. We have 2 and 45. We have 3 and 30. We have 5 and So 90 divided by 5 is that's 1, 5, 4, 9, 5, and 18, right? What else? What other factors do we have? We also have we can also have 6. That's 6 times 15. What else? So 6 and 15, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so we can also have 9 times 10. Okay, so these are the factors of 90. Now we have to choose a partnership of the factors of m squared and 90 such that it can possibly give us an answer of m or 1m. So I would like to try because I would like to try this one and 9 and 10 because when I subtract 9 and 10, I can get 1. So 10 minus 9 is 1. So I will try that first. So I will put here m for the first factor, for the first term of the first factor, and then m also for the second, for the first factor of the second, sorry, the first term of the second factor. And then I will put 9 here and then 10. Now, how about the sign? So the sign here is positive, negative. So this means that my answer should have a positive sign. So if that is the case, I have to put the positive sign on 10 because 10 is bigger than 9. And I will put the minus sign to 9 because the sign here is plus minus. There has to be a negative number. So let's try to multiply that. M and M is m squared. M times 10 is positive 10m. 9 times n is 9, negative 9m. And negative 9 times 10 is negative 90. So if I combine this, I will get m squared plus m minus 90, which is the same as our given. So hence, the factor of m squared plus m plus 90 is m plus 9 times m plus. So this is now our answer. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try to factor 2n squared plus 6n minus 108. Okay. So again, let us first get the factors of the first and the last term. So 2n squared. We can have 1 and 2n squared. We can also have 2n squared. And then for 108, so this has there are a lot of factors for 108. But if you look at 2n squared plus 6n minus 108, so 108 is a big number. But maybe what we can do here is looking at the terms of 2n squared, 6n, and 108. All of the numbers can be divided by 2. They have a common factor, which is 2. So why don't we just simplify it first and factor out 2 so that our numbers will get smaller? So this is something that will help you to be able to factor easily. So I'll bring out 2 using common monomial. Then I will have here n squared plus 3n minus 54. Okay. So again, using common monomial, I further simplified the expression 2n squared plus 6n minus 108 to 2 times n squared plus 3n minus 54. Now, what I need to do is to just write the 2 here and then use a bracket or use a bracket to separate the factors of n squared plus 3n minus 54. So now I only have the n squared. So mas simple yung factors ko. I will just have 1 and n squared or n and n. For 54, this is a much smaller number, so it's easier to get the factors. We can have 1 and 54. We can have 2 and 27. We can also have 3 and 18. 4, 5, 6. We can have 6 times 9. 7, 8. Yeah. So that's it. Those are the factors that we can use. So let us look for a partnership. So n and n. So this is just 1. And then looking at 154, 227, 318, 6 and 9. 6 and 9 can give me a sum or a difference of 3 because 9 minus 6 is 3. So I will box this one and I will try the n and n factor. So I'll put the n here, the one n, another n, and then 6 here, and then 9. So my question or my given has plus and minus, which is similar to the previous example. So what I can do here is to put the plus sign on 9 because 9 is bigger than 6 and the minus sign to 6. And then I will check my answer. N and n, that gives me n squared. N times 9, that gives me positive 9n. 6 times n, that's minus 6n, and negative 6n. Negative 6 times 9 would be negative 54. And then 9n minus 6n is 3n. So this is now the same as the second factor. So do not forget to write 2 as a factor. Therefore, the final answer would be 2 multiplied by n minus 6 and n plus 9. Or you can simply write 2 times n minus 6 n plus 9. So this is the factor of 2n squared plus 6n minus 100. Okay, so again, the technique here is to get the factors of the first term and also the last term, and then try to make a partnership or to get a pair of the factors wherein when you multiply it, you will get the sum, the middle term as a sum or a difference of their products. Okay, so maybe you can try it on your own. So practice on this factoring by doing these examples or these questions. Let's have n squared minus 5n plus 6. A squared minus a minus 90. Let's also have 4b squared minus 4b minus 8. Just a hint for the third question. Also look if there are common terms or common factors in the term so that it's easier for you to factor. Okay, so again, you can pause this video at this point. Once you're done answering, you can press play, and then so that you can check if your answers are correct. If you need to go back to the previous discussions, then you may do so. Just play it back, and then once you're done answering, check your work. Okay, so let's check. Let's see if your work is correct. So again, for number 1, we need to find the factor. So for n squared, we can have n and n. And then for 6, if we look for factors of 6 are 1 times 6, 2 times 3. So if you look at 2 and 3, if you add them, you can get 5. So let's try that first. I will put 2 here and then 3 here. How about the sign? There is negative and positive. So that's negative and negative. You know why? It's because when I multiply negative 2 and negative 3, that will give me a positive 6. So positive dito sa third term. So let's check if our answer is correct. we will have n squared, negative 3n, negative 2n, positive 6. So if I simplify this, I will get n squared minus 5n plus 6. So therefore, our final answer is, our factors are n minus 2 and n minus 3. I hope you were able to get that. Let's try this one, a squared minus a minus 90. So if we put two factors, a squared can be a and a. 90, so there are a lot of factors for 90, but what we need is a 1 answer here in the middle. So we can have 9 and 10 there. So 9 and 10 can give us 1 when they are subtracted. The sign here is negative. So that means the negative sign goes to 10 and the positive sign goes to 9. We can't put here negative, negative. It's because even the third term has a negative sign. So when you have a case of minus and then minus, your factor has the first factor or the second factor, or just simply say one factor has to be a plus and another factor should be a minus. So it really depends where you will put the minus sign or the plus sign depending on the middle term that you need to get. So if you multiply this one, we'll have a squared and then negative 10a plus 9a and then minus 19. So if you simplify this, you will get a squared minus a minus 19. Hence, our final answer would be a plus 9 and a minus 10. That is the factor of a squared minus a minus 19. Let's go to the third one. So we have 4b squared minus 4b minus 8. So again, I told you a while ago that you can use common monomial first or get the common factor. And in this case, the common factor in all the three terms is 4. So I'll put out 4, I'll factor it out. And then what remains in the expression would be b squared minus b minus 2. So since the numbers are smaller, it's easier to factor. Okay, so let's factor this one. Don't forget to write the 4 there. It's still part of the expression. So v squared, it can be v and v. And then for 2, we can only have 1 and 2. So I'll just put here 1 and then 2. As for the signs, since our answer is should be negative in the middle, I will put the minus sign to 2 and the plus sign to 1 because 2 is bigger than 1. So let us check our answer. So v times v is v squared. V times negative 2 is negative 2v. And then plus v minus 2. So we have v squared minus v minus 2. This is actually the same as that one. Okay, therefore, our final answer is the factor of 4v squared minus 4v minus 8 is 4 times v plus 1 times v minus 2. So this is now our answer. So I hope that you were able to understand how to factor a given trinomial. So using this method of getting the factors. If you have questions, you may email me, or if you need more activities, then you can email me, or you can just answer the activities in your module. So I'll see you on the next video, another kind of factoring method.